It's 4 o'clock on a Tuesday, and you know what that means, don't you? It's time for another exciting episode of Taxi's Quarantini Happy Hour. Woohoo! Whoop, better raise my level. Come on, microphone. There you go. Hello! Okay. And thank you, fake band. Thank you, fake audience. Now we got lots of juicy levels on that microphone. Hello, everybody. How are you guys? Let's see who's in this room today. We've got, hello, Ariana. We've got Bob Gunnerfeld, Darren Fletcher, John Pearson, Dan Weber, Darren Fletcher, Jesse J. Peck. Scrolling down, Darren Moss, Nancy Callell, Daryl Berman, Riffs That Rule, Pete Mason, Michael McGraw, Brad Gray, Jonathan Morse, Ian Shortle, Andre Stepanian, Bob Gunnerfeld, I said that already, Edmund Red, Martin Gravel, Rick Cabot Podmore, Songs from a Headband. Wow, I feel like I'm running a tiny little cult. I love you guys. It's so funny seeing the names, it's like the same names stacking up in there every day. It's pretty cool. Gotta say, I love it. Peter Rahill, Lamar Pecorino. Okay, that's it. No, spiritual. Oh, man. Where's the Kool-Aid? Yeah, it definitely won't be the purple stuff. I'm going to call Tom Cruise and see if he wants to join up. Should I say rock star? Actually, this week I've been cheating somewhat. Now I'm drinking a Red Bull Blue Edition, which is blueberry flavor. It's actually really good. I've got to say, these flavored Red Bulls, they go down like candy. Gotta watch yesterday's archive. Yeah. Hello, Jim Stamper. I gotta show you guys this. Jim Stamper sent me ideas for the road rally. Whoa, having a hard time. Pages, like 4 or 5 pages of ideas for the road rally. Unfortunately, Jim, I think you forgot the fact that we're not a TV network or a production studio. So many of the things on here, and I'm really grateful, I'm super grateful actually, that you took all the time to put this together. But man, to pull this stuff off, we would need like 3 or 4 remote crews. I would need a staff of 10 people working with me just on the road rally. But I will actually call you to discuss this stuff. But my big news today is coming up in a minute, and it is road rally centric. There you go. You guys never leave this space. It's just me who signs off. Hello, Cass. Oh, man, you guys are funny. Yeah, I can't do it all. There's a lot of stuff on there. Anyway, yeah, I'm not going to make the big announcement. I'm going to wait a few more minutes, just see if anybody else joins us so I don't have to repeat it 10 times. But how about Ken Calais yesterday? I really, truly love that man. We've only known each other for a little more than a year, I think. We first met at the Hawaii Songwriters thing. I moderated a producers panel, and he was one of the producers on there. And some of the other people on the panel were, not too cool for school, but they were all like young, hip, like ultra contemporary producers. And I felt bad for Ken. They weren't dissing him, but they weren't being... It's like, guys, you've got a gentleman sitting on this panel that made one of the most iconic records of our lifetimes. Certainly my lifetime. I don't know. Maybe these guys weren't old enough that they'd heard it yet. I don't know. Anyway, co-producing Rumors, that's a big damn deal. But I remember when they were working on that record, myself and all of my contemporaries who were engineers and producers, I mean, really, really big names in the industry, all of us were like couldn't wait to get our next issue of Recording Engineer Producer Magazine or Mix Magazine or anything that had any little updates about how the Fleetwood Mac record was going. And I mean, Ken was always somebody that I wanted to meet. You know, I've always admired his work. I admired the fact that they did a lot of groundbreaking stuff. He did even more groundbreaking stuff on Tusk, which was, I think he was kind of forced into by Lindsay's more manic behavior on that record. But anyway, I was thrilled to have him on that panel. And I really kind of ignored the other panelists in Hawaii and just kept asking Ken questions because, frankly, his answers were better. You know, I mean, the other guys were all like, yeah, you know, I use an 808. Everybody uses an 808. I mean, their answers... There was actually one other good panelist, another friend of mine, a guy named Hookman, Marlon Hookman Bonds. But I kept hitting Ken with questions, and he would give really good answers. And then after the panel was over, and we did our usual, you know, shaking of hands with people in the room, little meet and greet, and then walked out into the courtyard of the hotel, and he was out there, and he walked up and he said, something like, I know your name, you know, but I just want to say thank you, you know, for asking me really good questions because I felt a little out of place up there. And I said, well, if anything, the other guys were out of place because nobody can hold a candle to what you've accomplished. And he's got more knowledge about engineering and production in his pinky finger than a lot of people do in their old big brains, you know. So, Michael uses an 818. Michael doesn't have an 808. Michael doesn't have anything with an 808 on it. You know what I do have? Last 4th of July, we did what we always, not this past one because of the COVID, but pretty much every 4th of July, the Shirellis and the Lascos get together either at their house or our house. We do a little barbecue. We let the kids, back when they were little, you know, blow off some, like, you know, those little things you throw at the sidewalk and they make snapping noises, or twinklers. What do they call? Sparklers, not twinklers. The things where you pull the string and the confetti goes all over your house. So we would do that, and then we would go watch fireworks with the Shirellis. So every year, Rob will tell you, I think he's actually mentioned on the show, but if I walk into a restaurant or any cool looking building that has the potential to be a good recording room, I always clap my hands, listen to the sound of the room, and Shirelli always gives me grief about that in a fun way. And every year when we watch the fireworks, there's one particular type of firework that has particularly percussive sound, like really boom, hits you in the chest. And every year I say, we gotta sample that. And he goes, you've been saying that for like 20 years. Let's sample it. So we both whipped out our phones and we got one. And then he took it home that night and trimmed it front and back and compressed it and added some bottom end to it and who knows what else. But he sent me like the straight thing just trimmed and then the affected one. So I cannot wait to make a record using that firework concussion as the kick drum because it sounds like a really badass kick drum. Hello, Robert Martin, Joseph Alonso, Rosso Emil. How are you guys? Yeah, you know, I don't know why it took so many years to finally get around to grabbing that on our phones. Does the Clapper company pay royalties to you for that? They should. It took a minute. Not that fast today. Cool fact from Robert Orzechowski. French word for fireworks is petard, which also means farts. Really? Was that? Oh yeah, that was supposed to be a fart, I think. Yep, that was the fart. Or maybe that was a raspberry. Not sure. There's your pose, Ariana. Oh no, my mouth was open. always tell Ariana she's not allowed to put photos of me in the thumbnails where I have my mouth open looking like a tarpon getting ready to swallow some bait. Cass McKenty does a goat fart. Nice. Dean Turner says, okay, we're ready for the big news. Yep. That's sunflowers. And yeah, they came that way. They're only, I got them on Sunday afternoon. Today is Tuesday, so they're 48 hours old. But we freshened up the water and they just came bent over. I don't know what to tell you. They are a little depressed. Hello, Alex Dillon. But yeah, Ken Calais, man, I think it was on Thursday evening of last week. I called him just to say hi. I really hadn't thought that much about asking him to be on the show again, but I called him to say hi. Do you know that right after the quarantine happened, like 2 days into it, one day, I either got a text or a phone call from Ken, and he goes, I'm just checking up on you, buddy, making sure you're okay. And at first I thought that was because just a few days before, Ariana and I were at Ken's studio doing Taxi TV with him, like, I don't know, days before, like 4 days before. So I thought maybe he was checking up to make sure that neither of us came up positive or anything. Turns out he doesn't seem that concerned. Anyway, I was joking with him Thursday night. I said, oh, yeah, I remember you checked in with me. I thought that was really nice of you to check in with me when the lockdown started taking place. But then I realized you're probably wondering if I was tested positive or something, because I do remember being in his studio and I coughed one time really loud and he went, like his head turned really quickly. So anyway, when I asked about that on Thursday night, he goes, no. He goes, I just like you. I wanted to make sure you were okay. I was so touched by that. We ended up spending like an hour on the phone Thursday night. My wife knows that when I get on the phone with either Shirelli or Calais, that it's time for her to just mosey on upstairs and turn on HGTV because I won't be back for an hour. And Ken's wife has said the same thing. And Shirelli's wife doesn't even hang out with him because she knows he's always in the studio. So I think she permanently watches HGTV. Sunflowers need sun. That's why they're so depressed. Yeah, you know what? They get a lot of vitamin D. Fireworks are actually feux d'artifice. Pierre, I already told you that I produced 3 songs or 4 songs for Gilbert Montagnier back in around 1980, I believe, and just spent an hour on the phone with him 2 Sundays ago. See, that's me speaking French. Gilbert Montagnier. All right. So you ready for the big news? Hopefully you'll think it's as big as I think. Guess who I just inked about an hour ago for the keynote interview for Taxi's virtual road rally this year? Let's see who gets it first. Come on, chat room. Weird Al, Joe Walsh, Quincy Jones, Neil Young, no. McCartney, no. Mariah, no. Ringo, no. Leland Sklar. No, actually, but I actually did send an email to Leland Sklar, not about the road rally. Ringo, Ed Kramer, Diane Warren, hint. Okay, the hint is he's written books that many, many, many Taxi members have read. Kermit, Mick Fleetwood, sat next to him on a plane one time. Donald Trump, nope. Katy Perry, nope. This might be anticlimactic. Pressfield, yes, Mr. Stephen Pressfield. Darren Fletcher wins my admiration. I'm so excited. I've read, I think, 3 or 4 of his books. I actually read one of his novels. It's actually an historic. Do you say a historic? No, an historical novel called The Lion's Gate about the '67 war in Israel, and it was riveting. Could not put it down. I think it was back in 2016. That Steve Pressfield and I spoke to each other on the phone. He was going to do it, and then he had a change of heart. He actually said, I don't do public events, but it's funny enough, the rabbi who married my wife and I is one of Stephen Pressfield's best friends. So I got his email from our mutual friend. I reached out to him. He said, normally I don't do public events, but because you're a friend of Rabbi Finley's, which is pretty funny, an Irish rabbi, he said, I think I'll do it. And then we were supposed to meet for a coffee, and he canceled on me for the coffee meeting and said, I just don't want to be in a ballroom with a bunch of people. Okay, and that was pre-COVID. So anyway, I reached out to him. I spent 2 hours, like in the back half of this morning, writing my pitch letter to him. And I got to say, I consider myself a decent writer, like in the real world, like a B+ writer. And I can write good salesy stuff and marketing stuff, good, but not like some ad agency is going to hire me, and I'm not going to be writing a novel or a screenplay anytime soon. But considering Stephen Pressfield has had 5 or 6 novels published, some of them have been, huge books. His self-help books, The War of Art, Turning Pro, Do the Work, are considered classics. And, so many people have read those. I'm sitting there writing a letter to this guy and thinking, okay, it's got to be short. It's got to be incredibly succinct. My punctuation and grammar have to be really good so I don't look like a fool. It's got to sell him, but not get too schmaltzy or anything. And I sent it to him, and 15 minutes later, I got an email back that said, okay, Michael, you sold me. Count me in. I'll be there. Let's touch base, like a month before the event. And by the way, kudos to you on building a great company, and congratulations on all that you do for musicians. I went, yay. And then right before I logged on today, almost didn't make the 4 o'clock downbeat today, I got another email from him. He said, now hold on a minute. I went, oh, crap, not again. He goes, hold on a minute. Just want to make sure when you say keynote interview, you're not saying that I have to deliver a keynote, as in give a speech, right? And I wrote back, said, nope, Q&A only. And he went, anyway, an author, taxi CEO, and an Irish rabbi walk into a bar. What you get are tall tales. Anyway, so that's it. I'm really excited. If you haven't read his books, you're only hurting yourself. Seriously, his books, basically, this is a man that's looked deep inside of himself and pretty much every other writer or creative type person that he knows, and distilled down everything that stops you from becoming great and makes it so easy to understand, so accessible, so motivational, and just so clear. If you haven't read his books, prepare to have your life changed. Do I have them here with me? Hang on, I may have them. I can't remember if I left them at the office. I think I've got them here. Yeah, I've got them here. Whoa, almost missed the chair. There we go. Okay. Read this one first, The War of Art. Excuse me. Turning Pro is still at the office. Read that one second, I believe. And then this one, which is called Do the Work. Read this third. I mean, seriously, if you can't get through a book Well, there's Mr. Pressfield right there. Um, let's see, how many pages? It's 98 pages. If you can't read a 98-page book in about, 3 hours, and look at this. The very last words in the book. Man, I got to get this backwards thing right. Start before you're ready. Think about that. Start before you're ready. Because if you wait until you're ready, you will put it off, put it off, put it off, because you will always feel and say, not ready. Really, really, really big deal to just jump in and do it. Feeling like you're not ready might be one of the great procrastination enablers of all time. Let's see if there are any other. I just read you guys some pearls of wisdom from these books. By Improv Wisdom by Patricia Madson, Madson. Oh yeah, I remember reading you guys this like a week or so ago. When we finish something, we're afraid to be judged, so most never complete the task or the product, etc. It's so true. I was going to submit for that listing, but I just couldn't get a mix that I liked. I was going to submit for that listing, but my new keyboard hasn't come in yet. You guys know the drill. Brad Gray. Well, let me go to Darren Fletcher. Join Taxi before you build your catalog. Yeah, so many people don't join because they're waiting till they amass a catalog that they won't be able to pitch anyway. Brad Gray says you grow faster when you're uncomfortable. Mistakes are the best teachers. When do you tie up your clients then? Oh, cleats. When do you tie up your cleats? No, you use Velcro, Cass. Nobody ties cleats on anymore. They use Velcro. The Procrastinators Club has postponed their introductory meeting again. Exactly. Pierre says exactly. I wrote 200 songs, most, not all of them good, mind you, since I joined Taxi in May 2018. Wow. Anyway, so that's it. I'm done. You guys got anything? That was my big news for the day. Hello, Christina. Oh, Christina missed the big news. Shh, don't tell her. Hello, Kathy DeWitt. Oh, thanks for finding ways to keep these connections going even as we're amidst so many canceled gigs. Do you know, a very close friend of mine is a guitar player in, why can I never think of the band name? I'm terrible with first names, terrible with last names, terrible with song titles, and terrible with band names. And yet I'm in the music industry. Hello, Kathy DeWitt. I met you in Kauai. Hey, now you're an all-star. Why can I not think of the band? Can't think of it. Anyway, he's the guitar player in that band. He also plays in Smash Mouth, thank you. He also plays in Enrique Iglesias' band. And he and I were texting last night. He told me he's got a gig with Smash Mouth this weekend at Sturgis, the giant motorcycle rally they have every year. And I said, dude, Sturgis is unsafe for two reasons. One, you've got like 20,000 bikers, half of them are well armed. And the other reason is the other half of them are probably infected with COVID. So wear a mask. Hope he doesn't have to sing any vocals. The dates for the virtual road rally can be the same as well. Yes. Yes, the virtual road rally, although I'm not officially announcing it yet because I still have a day or two before the contract is officially broken. But yes, the first thing will take place on Friday, November 6th. I'm not sure if I'm going to have Michael Lloyd do his typical inspirational opening or if I'm going to open it myself and just jump right in. But Stephen Pressfield will be doing his thing at 9:15 a.m. on Friday, November 6th. Wow, 200,000 motorcycles at Sturgis? Robert Orzechowski says, I had a question regarding listings. If the listing is for a music supervisor and the listing gets canceled due to COVID, would the taxi member see a credit for a future submission? Did we have one that got canceled due to COVID? I'm unaware of that if we did. If that's a hypothetical, I would say the answer is yes. We would probably just credit everybody for a free submission that's submitted to that. I don't think we've had any, though, that were canceled due to COVID. More than half of them will be armed. Do Smash Mouth use mouthwash? I don't know. That'd be a great name for a mouthwash brand, though. Smash Mouth, with a young in-love couple smashing their mouths together in a fervent kiss. Will it be an open virtual bar? Yeah, you guys can drink all you want. I don't know what I did with the list. Did I already read off the stuff that I'm planning on doing? No, you don't have to line up to register. You guys are going to get a private link. Everybody who registers for the Road Rally will get a private link. We still have to work out all these details, but this much I know, is that you will get a private link and you will be allowed to invite a guest and give them the private link, or they will get one generated by us and given off to them. And it's going to run from Friday morning at 9 o'clock till roughly 5:30 to 6:30 will be the last panel or interview each day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And on Friday night and Saturday night, there will in fact be taxi member live showcases. I can't disclose much about those at the moment other than to say it's extremely likely, it's about as close to being firm as you can get. And I won't have to run them. Yay. Somebody else who has a vast amount of experience putting on that sort of thing will be running them. So we will do one on Friday night with 5 taxi members. We will do one Saturday night, probably like from, 6:30 p.m. until 8 or 8:30, something like that. Just guessing at that, but educated guess. And then Sunday, after the road rally is over, we're going to do like an after road rally party / showcase with 5 more people. Oops. Hang on a minute. Got to get rid of that. I thought that was Steve Pressfield writing me back yet again. So, yeah, you guys want to be... No, you know what? You are not only the first people to know about Pressfield, but I'm going to read off the things that I have tentatively planned for this year's road rally. Now, mind you, Stephen Pressfield is the only person on this list that I've reached out to so far. Read the Pressfield email. I don't know. I wouldn't want him to find out that I did that. He might think that that was in bad taste. I'd like to read it because I put so damn much work into it. I'll show it to my wife tonight when my wife's actually at the office and I'm home. Anyway, I'll show it to her and she'll be like, that's nice, honey. Hold on a minute. HGTV is on. She loves her HGTV. Um, okay, so these are the things tentatively planned for now, okay? Underlining the word tentatively because I have to see how much time these things are going to take. I may have to cut some for time. May have to add a couple more. I probably haven't thought of a couple things that I want to do, but this is like a running list that I've been keeping now for weeks. And once it started looking more apparent to me that the rally was in fact going to be, yes, Pierre, they will be viewable after the live stuff. What is HGTV? Home and Garden TV. It's basically house remodels. Okay, so I had a good thing because the person who's reaching out to all the sponsors for us, he and I have been working for the last 4 or 5 days on putting together the pitch document for all the sponsors, and he said, I need panels, I need names. So I put Stephen Pressfield in there, and and I spelled his first name wrong. Oops. Anyway, so I'm glad that Stephen said yes. Okay, so Keynote interview, The War of Art with best-selling author Stephen Pressfield. If I can make 6 figures doing this, anybody can with Matt Vanderbo. That man cracks me up. How music is chosen and used in reality shows with a TV editor who shall remain nameless for right now. No, it's not Laurel Ostrander. I'm not going to get her for a 3rd year in a row. This one I can't promise because when you think about the complications in getting the audio to go both directions so that you guys can hear it and the person or person screening it, but right now we've got instrumental music speak critiques 1 with TBD, means to be decided. Writing songs for major label artists with Jason Bloom. Inside an independent film music supervisor's head. I've got 2 potential supervisors for that. TV and film song speed critiques number 1 with TBD. Understanding and using metadata with Joe Brandt, who in my opinion is probably the foremost expert on metadata that I have personally met. Robin Frederick doing her thing. I had already come up with a plan for her and she liked it, but yesterday I changed it to Why These Hits Are Hits with best-selling author Robin Frederick. Producing the Bee Gees mega hits with Carl Richardson and Albie Galutin. Using rises, drops, bramps, and found sounds in trailers and promos with Randon Purcell. Networking your way into hit songwriter song camps with Hookman. Advanced production techniques with Grammy winner Rob Shirelli and Ron Harris. Speed critique, instrumental speed critiques 2, TV and film song speed critiques 2, organizing your tracks, songs, alt mixes and stems with Keith LeBrant, avoiding common submission mistakes with Taxi's head screener Angela McCool, Boys Club, not so much, with Shannon Quisenberry and Beth Wernick, neither of whom know that they're doing that yet, but they will. Writing country songs for today's market with a hit country writer. Act like a professional and get treated like one with To Be Decided. And I've got about another half dozen ideas, so I've got to sit down now and figure out which days these are on, what order they're in, how long they will be, all that kind of stuff. So expect some changes, but yes, so Taxi members get 1 extra ticket for a friend or a spouse or whomever. Backhanded face slaps with, hello, Scott Hansen. Pizza Man is here. Anyway, so that's it. And I want to throw in a couple of things that I've got a list of like 6 things that I've never done at a road rally before. And I'm holding off on those right now because I need to see the timing of all these things. And it's going to be really difficult, like on the listening panels. Do I do 1 person? What I'm thinking about doing, and this is just thinking, okay? Rather than having a panel with 4 or 5 people and we're going, oh, hey, Rob, you're getting all laggy. Say that again. I don't want to go through that. I really don't. I think what I might do is pick like 3 music library owners for the instrumental thing and do 30 minutes with one, 30 minutes with another, and 30 minutes with another. And we'll have you guys submit online like you do for normal listings, and we will just have everything. We won't pre-select the music, but we'll just have playlists ready to go, and we will just go play. And whatever plays, and they will listen to it. The problem is getting them on their end to hear it. If we're doing it on a video link with them, it gets even trickier because you've got, slapback, audio feedback. If we're doing it on a phone, then what are they going to listen to? And we've got to deal with all kinds of stuff. It's way harder than it looks. That's why when I saw this incredible document from Jim Stamper, I laughed out loud. And he says, maybe you should get somebody who, like an official technical director, which we've actually talked about somewhat extensively already. But to do a lot of this stuff seriously, we would need crews. Do you know that in the past, when I've priced just the cost of getting like one camera guy with a really good like 4K camera, maybe it was even a Sony Red, but whatever it was a very high-end camera, and an audio guy with a boom mic to go around the rally and shoot stuff and interview people and all that. It just for that was $5,000 for like a 6-hour day. To have one guy videotaping panels while another guy roamed was $10,000 a day. That's just that. JP likes the one person at a time. Yeah. Can you run a string? It's funny. I was talking to Ken Kelly the other night, and he said, I hope my phone, my reception is good at the studio. It depends how deeply into the building I am. And my response to that was, Ken, I want you, because he was kind of hemming and hawing, maybe I shouldn't do it. The reception's really bad. I've got to be at the studio. We're getting a fiber line installed. And I really need to be under the roof here. Maybe I shouldn't do it. Maybe we should do it another day. And at first he said, can I postpone? And it's like, no, the first promo went out. You got to do it. And my response to him was, Ken, if I have to get 2 paper cups and a string, you are doing the show tomorrow. Oh, man. Yep, $5,000 for 6 hours for 2 people. And that included the deliverables, which was, would have been basically a raw videotape in this case. Yep, Hollywood wages being the key to that, Cass. Jim Stamper says he'll kick in $10. Yeah. Anyway, not even edited. No, that didn't include editing. That was just basically shooting and taking out any crap, like shots of the floor, shots of the ceiling, and chaptering it so that we could find our way through it later to find scenes that we wanted to pull out for edits. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, we spend, I think, a little bit over $5,000 just on the still photography for the road rally. People have no idea how much it costs to put on. Jan Weilage's nephew is a professional videographer, pays well. Here's a great wedding video story. I don't know that I've ever told this before. In my first marriage many years ago, to my lovely ex-wife and her family that I love dearly, one of my ex-wife's sister's daughters got married, okay? I think I was already out of the family and didn't go to the wedding, but this happened shortly after our divorce, if I remember correctly. So it was right around 1987-ish. So video cameras were, pretty popular. People had them. Everybody had them. So anyway, whoever this young lady was in my ex or former family, she got married, and the family, they weren't rolling in dough, so they decided they had a big backyard, a very nice backyard, actually, so they decided to do a backyard wedding with about 75 guests. And they hired the videographer, and the guy actually had a camera that was on a tripod that rotated. You know, it would just sit there and go, and it made that exact noise when it did it. Where did I go? I'm not even watching myself. There I am. Anyway, so as the bride's father often does at the wedding, he walks around, shakes hands, people congratulate him. Mazel tov, Dad, your daughter got married, she's off the books. Anyway, so people were giving the dad the cards with the checks and the cash, and the dad's sticking them all in his pocket. And at some point, he went out on the dance floor and took off his tux jacket and hung it up like on a tree limb in the backyard while he was dancing. And lo and behold, later he proclaimed to everybody somebody stole the envelope with thousands of dollars out of the pocket of his tux. Well, wouldn't you know it, about a month later when the videographer was editing the video and he went to the raw footage from the camera that went and just, kept panning back and forth on the whole yard, it was the dad himself who took the envelope out, trotted into the house with it, stashed it, and then told everybody it was stolen. I wasn't even in the family, and frankly didn't love a lot of those people anymore, but I was heartbroken for the daughter, for everybody. And do you know that the daughter and the new son-in-law got the marriage annulled? The new son-in-law and his family wanted no part of that family. Yeah, busted big time. Who stole the Kishka? Wasn't that a hit in Russia back in the 60s? Who stole the Kishka? Sure, JP, you can sample that noise. Here you go. Someone check on Dan Weber. Haven't seen his name today. He's here. I think I saw him at the beginning of the show. Maybe there's a videographer school nearby that would do it for free so one of their students can get credit. I'd probably get busted for, like using any illegal... in California, if somebody does a job for you, you better pay them. Seriously, you can't even hire interns safely anymore in the state of California. You have to pay your interns now. Even if the intern comes to you through a college and you sign all the paperwork and you have, like the weekly reports for the intern and blah, 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 you turn the stuff into their professor. They do whatever interns used to have to do to make it kosher with the college and the state. Not anymore. Now you got to pay them minimum wage while they intern. Excuse me. Dan Weber, I'm trying to get used to... Excuse me, wake up at 4 a.m. again for music. See, Dan's alive. Yay. It's cute how you guys really care about each other. When Pearson was out for 3 or 4 days, didn't show up or whatever it was, I mean, there was like a panic in the chat room. Where's JP? Oh, the bad news about the road rally is it's becoming more apparent to me every day that I'm not going to be able to continue to do the Quarantinis every day. The road rally is already sucking so much of my time that I can't even begin to tell you. I worked a big chunk of Sunday on road rally stuff. I've got to work tonight on road rally stuff. Luckily for the staff this year, they barely have to do anything for the road rally. We don't have to move any materiel, as it were. We don't have to load or unload any trucks, which are always a giant pain in the butt. The staff doesn't have to work, 12 or 14-hour days. Darren Moss, are you breaking up with us? I'm going to try and hang in for as long as I can. But I'm just seeing, just the Quarantinis take 4 hours a week. Actually, I spend about a half an hour in the Quarantinis, usually between, getting my hair done and the makeup and the lights and, getting the air conditioner set right, making sure my Cat 10 cable is plugged in, making sure that I've got the right angle on the computer, polishing off the little plastic screen on my webcam. That stuff usually takes about a half an hour. And I try and squeeze in a little pre-planning for the show. Sometimes I actually come here with a show already in mind. Not today. Lots of Rockstar. That reminds me, it's time for another swig of Rockstar Blue Edition. Cat 5 cable. Yeah, whatever. Cat 5, Cat 10, Cat of 9 tails. Ow, that hurt. That flavor is so good. Why don't they make this stuff without all the junk in it? I love their flavors. Water the daffodils. Those are sunflowers, Scott. Apparently haven't gotten enough sun. They are a little limp. Fill the taxi cab up with gas. New batteries in the clock. There you go. It is a battery-operated clock. What's my favorite flavor? They've got one that's in the same color can as this. A kind of bluish can, and it's, I think, acai berry and blueberry mixed together. That kind of makes you pucker a little bit, but it's got a really good aftertaste. I like that one. You don't get those you're in Cleveland, right? Wow. I thought Cleveland was like on the cutting edge of energy drinks. Yeah, the coconut one that I had yesterday was actually pretty darn good. And the day before I had one that was pear that was really good. My wife would never drink one of these. I mean, she won't touch a Rockstar. She won't touch a Red Bull. Every time I've ever offered her a sip, she's like, ew, that's stuff putrid. That wasn't a very good imitation of my wife. And if she's watching the show at the office right now, I think I might be eating dinner alone tonight. Anyway, she's not a Valley girl. Southern California girl. A beach girl. Grew up in Laguna Beach. Little surfer chick. Little surfer. Yep, that's my wife. Need the little blue pill for the flowers. There you go. Anyway, she won't drink this stuff, but I actually said to her Sunday evening, we had my daughter, her husband, and our granddaughter over for dinner. I made a smoked brisket on that smoker. It was so unbelievably good. Everybody at the table just kept going, oh my God, this is amazing. I mean, my daughter called me the next day to say, Dad, are there leftovers? And she lives like 35 minutes away. Does Mrs. Lasco surf? No, I'm sure she has, but she does not. She skis with the best of them. My wife is an incredible skier. Surfing, not so much. Hi, Liz. Or is that Deb on the member services account? Oh, man. Give some Red Bull to the flowers. I'm not wasting this on those flowers. Those things they've got one foot in the grave already. Yeah, so getting back to the road rally, there are, smoked gophers might be good. Smoked anything is good. I'm telling you, I love the smoker. We put chicken thighs on it one night. They were a little rich, because dark meat can be a little rich anyway, and smoking them made them richer. But I got to tell you, everybody says the first time you make a brisket on the smoker, it probably won't come out that great. It takes a little trial and error. And truthfully, I probably overcooked mine a little bit. It was a little bit drier than than the brisket that I had from a smoker several years ago that started me on this path. His was just like juicy, melt in your mouth, incredible. Mine was just a little dry, but incredibly tasty. And it was just like a hint of dryness. I really was looking forward to it to being like juicy, and it wasn't quite. But what you have to do is after you cook it, you get it to 160 to 165 for the internal temperature. Once you get it to that temperature, then you wrap it tightly in butcher paper or in tin foil and put it back in the smoker till it reaches 200 to 205 degrees. And The reason that you do that, oh, and then once you pull it out, here's where I went wrong. I had two recipes I was looking at. One of them recommended taking the meat when it hits 204 degrees, specifically on the smoker, that you take it out and you wrap it up, still wrapped in the butcher paper or tin foil, and tightly wrapped, not loosely. Tightly wrapped, and then wrap it in some like kitchen dish towels or something, or a beach towel or whatever, and then put it in a cooler, and you leave it in the cooler for at least an hour, if not 2 hours. And the reason you do that is to let the juices that have come to the outer surface go back into the meat. They retreat back into the meat. That's what makes it juicy. The other recipe I had said just do that for 15 minutes. So I followed the 15-minute recipe because everybody was getting cranky that it was taking so long. And it was just like, it wasn't dry, but it wasn't as moist as I wanted it. So yeah, getting back to that rally thing, there are so many other things that I want to do. I think one thing that I want to do this year that I've not done in the live road rallies is I want to do more like audio stuff, more engineering, more production. Had the road rally been a live event this year, I was going to do a panel with probably, all my favorite engineering buddies, Shirelli, Ken Calais, Ronan Chris Murphy, and Fett, and put those guys on a panel for 90 minutes and do nothing but take questions from the audience, which I was going to ask everybody to write them out on 3x5 index cards, because nothing worse than you hand the microphone to some guy who comes up the aisle to ask a question. Cass, you were sitting in the aisle last year. I remember you were like 4 seats away from the aisle where I was asking questions. And somebody who had, I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway, somebody had really bad body odor. Maybe they forgot their deodorant that day. Maybe they were just so nervous asking a question in front of a room full of people. I don't know. But the person had bad breath, had body odor. You won't get this from any other company CEO, just me. And I hand the guy, usually I hold onto the microphone with a death grip, because I know if they get the microphone away from me, they're going to talk and talk and talk and talk. And sure enough, this guy looked me in the eye, gave me like a steel-eyed look, like, let go of that microphone, Lasco. And my hand was sweating. I was gripping it so tightly because I didn't want him to get it. Finally, I just relented and went, fine. I let him have the microphone. And the dude asked like this really awful question. And it was one of those, I've been into music since I was in the 4th grade. And then when I was in the 6th grade, I got into a garage band with my brother and my friend Ralph from down the street. But his parents wouldn't let us practice in the garage all the time. A person's in the chat. Oh, crap. And then my brother's girlfriend joined. But the problem is that then my brother got busted for Grand Theft Auto, and he went to prison. So his girlfriend started playing drums in the band, but then she got pregnant, and she kept hitting herself in the belly with the butt end of the stick, so we had to kick her out of the band. And it's like, get to the point. What's your question, dude? And the question was, do you EQ going to tape or mix only? Oh, man. Where's Cass? He didn't comment. There we go. Circular thought is stuck in the mind's loop. So do you remember that, Cass? I actually saw you sitting in the audience. I don't think you and I knew each other very well. We knew who, each other were. And I saw you sitting there, but I think that you had grown a goatee or something. And I gave you kind of like, oh yeah, that's Cass look. And you were watching me standing there with that guy. And I just like, yeah, every year I get at least one of those. He was the one last year. We live in Florida where sturgeons jump into people's boats, and they are big. A friend of mine wrote a pretty funny song about them too, based on the question, why do they jump? They've got that problem in Illinois. I grew up in a little farm town called Ottawa, Illinois, that's at the junction of the Illinois and Fox Rivers. And if you've ever seen the videos on YouTube about the people, like you go water skiing and these carp, these like 7 or 8 or 10 pound carp just come flying out of the water, hundreds of them. Wherever you go, there's something about a boat motor that makes these fish just perpetually jump out of the water. And people have to, if you go boating in the Illinois River now, they're Asian carp, and they have become so plentiful that they don't know what to do with them. They're bad for the ecosystem because they're not a native species. And people wear like goalie masks and football helmets when they go out boating. You have to, because you get hit. If you're doing like 20 knots in a little speedboat and you get hit in the head with a 10-pound carp, bad. Really bad. Is it possible to do a few more listening panels? I think the members get a lot from the feedback that comes from a real live person face to face, well, virtual face to face. Yeah, I'll see what I can do. I mean, those are the riskiest ones of all to do. So that is one of my earliest priorities, is doing test runs of that and figuring out how to execute that nicely. Basically, we are going to be on the air from 9 o'clock in the morning until probably 8 o'clock at night. And if you include the showcase time. So, pretty much 8-hour days for the panels. Maybe I should just make one day nothing but panels. Excuse me, there's that rock star burp. Do one day nothing but listening panels from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Yeah, they are flying fish. A carp concussion. That song sounds like carp. Bada boom. Yeah, I'm Jesse's talking about the carp. There are actually, I saw that and I thought to myself, let's see, we've got a problem. We've got millions of carp that are actually edible. There are a couple of top-of-the-line chefs that are cooking those carp. They don't tell anybody they're carp because in Illinois, at least where I grew up, everybody thinks carp are garbage fish, like gross, I wouldn't eat them. Truth of the matter is, it's a white fish that tastes absolutely fine. So there are chefs, they've renamed them. They no longer call them Asian carp. They call them something else. And no, they don't call them flying fish, because I know that somebody's going to say that. And man, if I still lived in Illinois, I wouldn't be sitting here with you guys today. I would own a carp processing factory. There are people starving. The other pose was blurry. Need a surprise pose. Oh no, my mouth is open. How was that? Did I look surprised? Oh man. Look lower though. How's that? I can't pose. I can't read from a script. I can't give a speech from paper, and I cannot pose. Don't ever call me a poser, damn it. How's that? There's my other side. Anyway, lutefisk, I've had that. Nobody should eat that stuff. It's horrible. Yeah, carp are bottom feeders. They do tend to get muddy, but anyway, there are millions of pounds of unwanted ecosystem ruining carp in these rivers, not just the Illinois River. There are other rivers in the Midwest that have the same problem. I think Indiana and Iowa have it as well. So why aren't they just dragging these rivers with giant nets and getting tonnage of these carp? And even if Americans don't want to eat them because our palates are too sensitive, why don't they ship that fish off by the ton to countries where people are starving to death? Perfect. Yay. Sometimes you just gotta wonder. There are countries where children literally starve to death, yet we've got millions, hundreds of millions of pounds of unwanted carp. I mean, if nothing else, just ride up and down the river dropping hand grenades or dynamite in there all day long and scoop them up when they come to the surface. Maybe we should do a taxi TV. Adriana Lisette is also from my hometown of Ottawa, Illinois. Great pose. Great. So yeah, she's all about the carp. She's in the loop. She knows. Yeah, make pet food with Asian carp. See, there you go. There. Why do they just? I mean, they're building like electric fences and stuff, so that because what they're afraid of is that the fish will migrate up the river into Lake Michigan, and once they're in Lake Michigan, there's no stopping them. The Asian carp are going to take over the world. Okay, nobody give me any grief about this, but I'm sure Donald Trump will be saying it's the Asian virus and the Asian carp, right? The Wuhan Carp. What a great band name, Wuhan Carp. If that doesn't sound like a rapper, I don't know what does. Yeah, I want to talk about waste. Look at how much food casinos and hotels waste every day pre-COVID. Government gets in the way, makes it impossible to feed the needy. I completely agree, Paul. Do you know, and we're at 5:01, so I got to go in a minute, but one year we took the staff, we rented a private bowling alley with like 6 lanes at the Lucky Strike in Hollywood, and we had the staff and screener holiday party there. And we ordered up these giant trays of like veal parmesan, eggplant parmesan, spaghetti and meatballs, just all kinds of great like family style Italian food. And we had it like buffet style. So you could bowl, you could eat, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the night, we wanted to take the leftovers back to the office. We figured there'd be like 3 days worth of food. They wouldn't let us leave with the food that we paid like $600 for. Because it had already been open in the restaurant. I said, so let me get this straight. If I eat over there at a table and get a pizza and have 2 slices left over, I can take that home in a doggy bag. But because we had a party here and this was catered from the same kitchen, served by the same servers in the same building, we can't take catered food out of here? Yes, sir, that's correct. Welcome to the Hotel California. Nope, no doggy bags. So I made everybody come back from the parking lot, walk back in, and just eat until they were ready to puke. I wanted to get my money's worth. Oh, man. Let's see. I want to see. Apparently, Darren. Oh, Darren Moss said something funny because Paulie was laughing. People tell me my music is carp. No, hold on a minute. I meant crap. Oh, man. Wow, insurance companies stop you from donating Hollywood sets to Habitat for Humanity. By the way, Cass, watch Outlander. I think of you pretty much every night as we're watching that show. I mean, a lot of the stuff they're using like actual castles and stuff, but the sets on that show and the carpentry, the greenworks, all that stuff, just friggin' amazing. That production had to cost a fortune. So, yeah, if you've got Netflix, check out Outlander and just you will appreciate it more than anybody else in the chat room today, I'm sure. Just in case you want to know, Cass's specialty is building Hollywood sets and goats. All right, guys. Well, that was a fun hang. We talked about nothing substantive, which is the way the Quarantini should be. Although we did talk about Stephen Pressfield. I mean, seriously, I'm so excited. I've read a couple of his books. I've read this one at least twice. Yeah, how many? Everybody give me a +1 if you've read at least one of Pressfield's books. I want to get an idea about how many other people I need to convert. Light topics are okay. Haven't but will, JP, you'll love them. Start with the War of Art. Cass gives me a -1. All right. Well, for those of you, apparently not a lot of you have read the books. All right. Read the books. Trust me, if you've read the books, then you will be unbelievably excited that he's going to be the keynote at the Road Rally. Trust me on this. He's the Ken Calais of self-motivation. He's not like a motivational speaker guy. He's not a self-help book guy. He's just a guy who figured it out. Do you know? I don't know if it says this on here. Remember the movie Bagger Vance? He wrote the book that became the movie. He wrote a book on Thermopylae. He loves to write war stuff. Anyway, I want to say it took him 20-some years before he got his first book deal. Or maybe 27 years till the first one was made into a film. I can't remember now. Oh, that's right. Cass, you're big golfer guy. So yeah, you know Bagger Vance. All right, he wrote Bagger Vance. Dude. All right, with that, I'm signing off. Great hanging with you guys. Be back tomorrow, same time, same station, for another truly exciting. I can't believe you guys haven't read his stuff. Resistance is Futile. There you go. Yeah. Please order the book right now. Everybody that doesn't have one, order this right now. There's going to be a test on next Tuesday's episode. Good night, you guys. See you mañana for another exciting episode of Taxi's Quarantini Happy Hour.